was a sight for my soul.
So what should I know before practicing the infinite banking concept, becoming your own banker? What is the concept? Well, it teaches one how to use a cash value life insurance policy as a financing tool. I'm using the policy, I'm flowing money through it, and there's no lost opportunity cost. Kind of like a personal line of credit with a lot more control. It's great. So before I start a policy, when someone reaches out and says, hey, I'm ready, what's the next steps? Or we talked to an agent that said, hey, here's the banking concept, you want to apply for a life insurance policy, and they don't know what they're getting into, a couple things I want to be aware of first. If I get these right, everything else will fall in line, and I will prevent buyer's remorse down the road. So first I've got big four major mutual companies: Mass Mutual, Guardian, New York Life, and Northwestern Mutual. Regardless if I am practicing the concept or not, what we have seen in particular with these four companies is that they have consistently paid the highest returns to consumers. They're large, they've got great financials in terms of ratings and everything, which is good to know, good to be aware of. But the biggest selling point, in my opinion, is when we look at real performance, actual returns, not just an illustration, not just a projection. These four have delivered, and I want someone who's actually going to deliver the returns. So before I practice the concept, look at different carriers. If I'm not being presented one, just ask why. There could be a reason someone's showing a smaller carrier, but I do like to ask about these guys. This way, I know I'm going to have the most money. So a big thing we'll touch on all the time is when it comes to this concept is how do I simply maximize the monetary value of a life insurance policy? How do I beef that cash value up as much as possible on day one and also over the long haul? Because if I have more money in cash value, what's that going to do? That's going to let me practice the concept to a greater degree. I've got more money in equity that I can access. And there's ways we can easily design a policy where we prevent a MEC, which we've got other segments on that. But to give you a higher level overview, I've got my big four major mutual companies. Second, when I set up a policy, my money can go where? Premium, or my PUA, stands for Paid Up Additions Rider. Premium, we can refer to as insurance expense. PUA rider, cash. So without going into detail on this, dollars that go towards premium, those firstly satisfy a death benefit. How the insurance company makes money is that dollars I pay into the premium piece, let's make this red, they overcharge me for the death benefit up front, the actual amount of life insurance, either in the first year or first and second. Once I get beyond those first 2 years, any amount of money, even if I'm paying $1 million in per year, I'll start to see that come back to cash value, start to produce dividends and interest. It's doing what I want to do. But the first and second year, guess what? It's out the window. The company's overcharging me for the death benefit. Dollars that go into PUAs, we call them cash because they go into cash. So without getting into too much detail, and we'll refer you to our other segments really on policy design, the question is the limits. How do I squeeze the premium down as much as possible and get the cash up as much as possible? Well, I've got limits I want to be aware of. I have the insurance company limit, which wherever I set that premium, typically the company will allow me to contribute up to 10x that number per year into cash. Right? So if I have $100,000 a year going into a policy, that means the lowest I can typically drive that premium is $10K a year. Some companies let you go lower than that. Among the major mutuals, we've seen that 10x ratio relatively consistent. So I have the insurance company's limits. I can't have a $1,000 premium and put in another $100,000 on top of that into cash. That'd be great. Would love the performance, but I can't do it. The other area, or the other limit, is my IRS limit, referred to as my MEC limit, Modified Endowment Contract. What people are not aware of here is when I design a policy, I can actually set my MEC limit wherever I want. Often we hear, you're up to the MEC limit, you can't pay more money into it. Someone says, well, I'd like to, and then we're told, open another policy. The thing is, when we start a policy, if I design everything perfect, I only want to go through those early years one time. Right? So again, policy design here. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on this. Let's just rewrite what we had. Premium, cash. Dollars that go to premium, cash value, 0 in the first and second year with a traditional policy. Once I hit year 3, and from that point forward, dollars that I pay into premium, say it's $1,000 a year, they start to come back to cash for me. I'd see $1,000. Why they overcharge me for this? Here in the death benefit, that's what I'm buying. So if I pay $1,000 into premium, let's say that gets me a $50,000 death benefit. Whereas over here, if I pay the same $1,000 into cash, guess where it goes? Again, it goes into cash value. Money that begins to earn interest, money I have access to. Okay, so my limits. And again, this is the most important thing to be aware of before practicing the concept. If I get this right, everything else will fall in line. 10% premium, 90% cash. That's our 10/90 split. And we've got content on that as well where you can actually see different split studies. But if I get the insurance company's limit optimized, 10% premium, 90% cash, that immediately deposits money into cash value, starts to earn interest, and I can use it for the concept. And then the last piece is my IRS or MEC limit, which again I can set wherever I want. So if I say I want the ability to pay in $50,000 on any given year, what do I want to do? I want to set my MEC limit at $50,000. This way I have the ability, but not commitment, to paying up to $50,000, and my premium, call it at $5,000. I can literally now commit to $5,000 and pour in extra cash at my discretion. Depends on the company's flexibility terms. That's why I want to shop or understand the different carriers, but those are the limits. So going back to the beginning of this video, what should I know or be aware of before implementing the infinite banking concept? 4 major mutual companies, or look at different companies, make sure I'm picking one of the big 4. We've seen them consistently deliver the highest returns. And then second, policy design. If I design a policy properly, I'm going to have more cash up front and more cash over the long haul. So if I merge those two together, company selection, highest returns, policy design, maximum cash value, that gives me a greater ability to practice the concept from day one and throughout the life of the policy.